Okay.
Starbucks, the most expensive enema you'll ever use.
Hello, welcome to Alphabet Suite, podcast for the Prince Songbook. There are hundreds of songs to choose from. You have chosen.
Welcome back to another episode of the Alphabet Suite podcast. I'm Pat.
I'm Tim.
And I'm producer Aaron.
And this episode...
Wait a minute. Rock on.
Oh, yeah.
Almost forgot that.
Almost forgot that because we're old.
Yeah, we are.
So, my computer's freezing. Oh, there it is. It's not the computer, it's the user.
I was going to say it, but I just kept it to myself.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't make me feel foolish. I do that enough on my own. So this episode, we are going to talk about another unreleased track. Say it ain't so. And
There's a lot of those.
oh, dude, it's crazy.
But it drives me nuts, especially the ones you're like, we can't hear it. I mean, what does it sound like?
What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
iCarly. No, that's what we'll talk about.
Don't get me sidetracked because I will go off onto this thing.
Shut
iCarly
up.
is updated, and yeah. I'm just.
So anyway,
you did it.
we are going to talk about 7 hours. So since... Really? I told you, it's not the bottle, man. You couldn't put the lid on the water. You can't put the lid on your RC. You're like Lucas with the lid off.
You're a funny man.
So every time I think about this, though, I think about I Want to Melt With You. Because he starts out, I got 7 hours, baby. So what you want to do? That's always where my mind goes. So I've heard this song in my mind, but it's not. It sounds just like I Want to Melt With You. Anyway, so this one, according to our notes, is an unreleased track. And what I found interesting about this one is it was one of those, all his stuff has been released. You get bootlegs. Mm-hmm. So you would think there's very, very little in his vault that hasn't been stolen from him and released somehow, right?
Right.
Well, this one, they didn't even find it until after he died and they were cleaning out the vault. So, and that's another thing, man. Okay, so he dies. They have to go in and basically torch his vault open because no one had the code to get in. So they get the vault open. People are still stealing information.
Right.
Now, they may not have got the song out. I don't know. But if it was found following his death, then someone else had to leak this information. Someone who, should have been cataloging this stuff and being top secret about it all. But anyway.
Well, who was the one doing all that anyway? I mean, didn't they
They had a group, remember? They brought, and it switched like 2 times.
See, that's the problem, man.
It went from like some Macmillan guy to some old Napster or something. I forget what he was an executive at some music streaming company.
Okay.
And he took over, and yeah, I don't know. That was just a whole big cluster.
But a Prince would have had a will.
Well, it would have stopped a lot of this. You would think. So anyway, they found this one on a CD with some other tracks. So, but yet I've never heard this one, so they don't know the other tracks, according to this, were recorded or played live from like 2011 to 2013. So they think that's when this one was actually recorded, but they don't know if the version that was found on the CD was live in the studio or full recording. They don't know. So apparently this one, the actual track did not get out, but someone said, hey, we found the CD with these tracks on it. So apparently they had 7 hours, and what do you want to do? They want to steal songs.
Right. So,
yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot to go on with this. I can't even say, oh, I heard it, and it, there's nothing.
So it says it's 4-track on a CD.
It was the fourth track.
4-track.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't know.
4-track.
I thought you said it was a 4-track CD.
He said it was something along the lines of 4-track CD.
But it's not a 4-track CD. It was
Hey,
the
bro.
fourth track on
Hey,
the
bro.
CD.
Hey, bro.
April. My
4th track
on the CD.
on the CD at Paisley Park Studios, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm wondering, all this time that they have had to go through all his Vault music, you think maybe there was, I'm sidetracking, but there was a vault inside of a vault? This is where they didn't get some of this music? Like, there was a secret compartment in the vault? Anyway,
Yeah, it's probably called an encrypted hard drive.
see? There we go. Thanks, producer Aaron.
Rock on.
So, hang on.
Okay. Oh, you got more.
I do.
And if you act today,
We'll throw in a Swiffer. You know what? We're just going to throw in a Swisher Sweet. Swiffer.
What do you got?
Swiffer. So
A flour sifter?
no, the broom thingamajiggy. The
Swifters?
A Swiffer.
Swiffer?
Swiffer sweeper.
Thank you.
Swiffer.
I have a speech impediment and y'all can't say that.
Okay, so
We just have psychological problems.
definitely. Okay, so why, if they went through all this music,
Yes.
they've had to listen to this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would
please,
think. I mean, because
please explain why do they not know if it was live, a studio, or whatever? If they've listened to all this stuff, so
well,
you see where I'm going with that?
I understand
'Cause
what you're asking, and I see where you're going with that. However, the information that when I go researching this stuff, I'm not getting information from the people who are actually dealing with the music itself. I don't think they're so they moved it from his vault at Paisley Park out to California somewhere to this climate controlled, special, I don't even know what it is. It sounds like it's just a big warehouse, but it's climate controlled and it's under lock and key. And the people that are doing it, I don't even know who's doing it anymore. Like I say, it's so convoluted and confusing, and there's not a lot when you go researching what's going on. If you can't dig deep and know what you're looking for, you just because they don't put the information out there. It's not like they say, oh, it's owned by Warner Brothers and these people are doing it. I have no idea who's doing what with it. But these people who are doing it should be, I would think, would be under some sort of contract, that says, hey, you can't talk about it. You can't. Because when I think it was the second guy, I think his last name was Carter or something Carter. I could be remembering that wrong too, because when he was going through it, he was actually listening to the stuff. Mm. And I know he was because he would come out in interviews. Now, this is shortly after his death and, when Prince was still everywhere because they're talking about his death and the music and the no will and the battle for the control and all that. So it was in the news all the time. And that's when you could get a lot of information. But he was saying, oh, we found some gems. I heard this or I heard that. But he would never say what it was. I heard stuff that I just, never knew existed. And he would always be kind of like ambiguous about it. You guys are going to be surprised. And, you thought you heard everything on bootleg, but there's so much. I mean, but he wouldn't say, oh, I heard this song called 7 Hours. And it's that, So nobody who's working on the music now is coming forward and giving like any information. They're probably like on an NDA, where they can't discuss anything about the music because you don't even find out when they're doing releases now, you don't even find out what's coming out until they've already got the music produced and remastered, the packaging ready to go, and they're getting ready to start printing it. And then they come out, oh, in a month, we're going to release this. Here's the track listing. Here's all this. So nothing leaks until, and you know they're working on it for months ahead of time. You don't just put something together in a week.
Right.
They're picking the songs, they're remastering the songs, and you look at like the Sign of the Times special edition. There's like 90 some songs on there that they had to go through and remaster.
Right.
They were working on that for a while.
A long while. Yep.
But did you hear any leaks? Or I didn't. You know, now I'm sure there's a group of people that are way more connected than we are that probably are sitting there going, "Oh, we heard it all," but
Maybe.
they're never going to watch this.
No.
So
You never know.
you never know.
They might look at him like, look at these two dummies. Just saying.
They'll be the first ones to call us up and say, "Y'all don't know what you're talking about."
Right.
So anyway, yeah, I have no clue what the song is. Like I said, when it plays in my mind, it's "I Want to Melt with You," because he ties everything to, he's always
Right.
weaving it.
Now,
The other tracks were Big City, Mutiny, Your Show, and People Pleaser, which I know Mutiny and People Pleaser, but I don't know Big City or Your Show. Mutiny was The Family way back in the 80s.
right.
And People Pleaser was with Andy Allo just, I don't know, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Well, it's got to be longer now because he's been dead for 7 years.
Was that a chickie?
Yeah.
Hair?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah. So
All right. I need you to help me make sense of my notes.
you want me to make sense of your notes?
Because after I got done saying, because I'm old, so I got to write my notes down so I can remember things. So after I, was like, okay, if they listen to this stuff, how do they not know if it's live studio, whatever, and then you took off of that. However, after that, I said, especially under recording personnel, it states prints all instruments except for where noted. Make sense of that, because I have no idea why I wrote that.
But it also says assumed,
Yeah, they assume a lot of crap. So, does that make? I don't know why I would tie that into.
Well, also, how can it be recorded live, whether in studio or
If he's playing
at a show, if he's playing everything?
Yeah.
And
That would be
Maybe.
talented.
Hey, maybe that's where I was going with that. Probably
I don't
not,
know. I'm
but-
not in your head.
I know, and neither am I.
But also, how can you be recording live in studio?
Well, you're always
Isn't
live
that
in the
just a
studio.
jam session?
You're never dead in studio.
You get what he's saying.
I know.
All right. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Would you say this is recorded live right now
We are live.
in front of a live studio audience?
No.
A live producer, Aaron.
Yeah,
Rock on.
you say that to anybody, they're gonna be like, "I can't go to that show." If it's live, I should be able to go to it.
Well, if they want to come to a recording session,
There we go.
you would have to let us know.
Right. Yeah, just don't show up. Just
Don't what?
don't just show up. You got to let us know first.
Well, they don't even know where we are.
But it's okay. They can email us.
They could.
Yeah. See,
I wouldn't recommend just giving out the address.
No, I'll send them to your place.
send them next door.
Send them next door.
Yeah.
And then see what they're doing. What are you doing here?
Right. Hey, if they look like normal people, then
My-
send them off. They got to
my-
be crazy to be watching us.
My neighbors would be like, what? All right. Well, I got no more to say about this because I don't know anything about it other than what little bit I could find. And
Yeah, I have nothing.
So
I-
I think this song's gonna come out in the next 12 months.
why?
I don't know, just a gut feeling.
Write it down.
All right.
We're going to take this down.
Set a calendar notification in your cell phones.
Yeah. In 12 months from today.
Well, not specifically, just within 12 months. You will hear 7 hours assumed made in 2011 or 13 and assumed all
Live or
instruments
studio.
played by Prince live in studio at the same time
Told you he
within
was-
12 months.
I told you he was talented. How many other people can do that? Unless it's just one
a
instrument.
couple, actually.
If it's one instrument. So are we done with this one?
I'm done.
I'm done. So until next time, right? Peace.
Peace.
Okay.
We'll take turns.
You always say that,
So
but
what?
why do I always start?
Just because I like when you start.
Okay.
That way I can remember what the heck we say.
I thought you took notes.
Apparently he can't read his notes.
No, I can read my notes, but it's on the songs, not how we start.
Oh.
I never took notes.
We start the same every time.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
You literally wrote the name of the podcast down on your notes.
I did?